Hello, everybody. Nice to have you all here. My name is Lennart Koopmans. I'm the CEO of Magnius, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of why we have developed our intelligent payment platform. We see such a lot of developments currently in the online payments industry, and we have noticed a big difference between the current PSPs and the new PSPs. And we have found a solution for companies who want to become a PSP. And that's why we say the PSP is dead and long live the PSP. What I mean with that is that to become a PSP is always so hard for people. They think of compliancy, of onboarding, of technology, building an open platform, getting all those merchants together. And so not a lot of people are trying to become a PSP currently. All the current PSPs, the major players, they are basically all big financial institutions. Sometimes they even are bigger or more worth than large banks. You see it with players like Stripe, Adyen, even Molly. Adyen and Molly, both players from the Dutch industry, where I also come from. But I wanted to give the possibility with Magnius to start a PSP easily. And I think that is really possible. You see a lot of developments going on in all the parts of the world, especially during the Corona crisis, of course, that most of the people are trying to buy stuff online. And it makes a lot of sense. The local shops are declining, the e-commerce business is increasing. A lot of companies in a lot of countries see the opportunities of becoming a PSP, but they don't know how to do it. It is a very big step to become a PSP. But there are several ways of becoming a PSP. We always say we have two kinds of PSPs, a distributive PSP and a collective PSP. And a distributive PSP will mean that you are not in the money flow, but you will have direct clients like merchants with a merchant agreement, but in the end they will have a separate contract with the acquirer in the back, and they will receive the money from those companies. But the upside of the distributive PSP is that you will have a relationship with your merchant, and that you that you're not responsible for the onboarding and transaction monitoring and transaction screening. Of course, you have some responsibilities, but not that much as when you become a collective PSP. We work for a lot of banks, and first of all, they all want to become, well, I say it all the time, try to start as a distributive PSP and then move to a collective PSP. So the technology, for example, to become a PSP is a lot of work. You need to have a lot of functionality, and how can you do that? You cannot build it from scratch anymore. The first players did it, but it's too late, and you need to do so many things. You're not able to do that. So you want, as a new PSP, if you are a new PSP as a subsidiary of a bank, or if you are a new PSP as part of an e-commerce platform, or whatever reason you have to start your PSP, you need to, if you want to become a PSP, you want to receive the data, because that will increase the insights that you have over all the merchants that you offer. The second thing that you want to profit from, of course, are the transaction commissions. That is something that we can help our clients with. But third, the compliance and onboarding things, this is hard work. If you become a distributing PSP, then you mainly not need it in the beginning. in the end, if you're going to be a collective PSP, you need a compliance officer. But we can help you with that, because compliance is very important, and merchant onboarding is to be automated, and we can help with that. And the technology, of course, you don't want to build all the plugins with all the e-commerce software yourself. Please use a solution where you can use it from someone else who already built it. And of course, be sophisticated, be updated with the most advanced and newest payment methods and plugins. So there you have it. You want to profit from the upside of being in a PSP, but you don't want to have all the hassle of the rest, which is also very important, of course. So what we offer as Magnius is a technology platform where you can, which you can use and as a white label solution, and you're going to be competitive and relevant. We offer all kinds of digital payments in our intelligent platform, and we also give the possibilities to give real good insights in the business that is going on with the merchants. So what we basically do is we set you up with a complete white label solution. You can onboard all your merchants in the platform that we dedicatedly hosted on an AWS environment. We set up a sandbox environment, we set up a production environment, and you are able to start very fast as a new PSP. What we can do for you is also to automate the merchant invoicing, because you want to send the invoices to the merchant, collect the money for the transaction fees that you did. If you are a collective payment service provider, you also need to be in the money flow, and the invoices are even more advanced. That is something that we are really good at and want to help with you as well. And then the merchant onboarding. It is a difficult process to onboard a merchant. So if you want to start as a PSP, try to start as a distributive PSP and put all the collecting of the onboarding documents in the place of your acquiring partners. We can help you with the acquiring partners and the connections with them, the local banks, etc. And we can help you to automate the onboarding process to make it really easy for the merchant to be online with you as soon as possible. So what does the platform then look like? You see basically the processing engine, and the processing engine has some interesting features like the life cycle of each transaction. You can see how everything is going, and we will have an audit trail of everything that happened with the transaction. If you want to manage all the transactions, you can see some management tools where you can add or change acquirers. You can also add some routing rules, which will basically mean that you can send traffic, regional traffic, to the best ways where the approval rates are at the highest. And this is a very interesting feature when you do a lot of international sales, or your merchants do a lot of international sales. We also can connect you to omni-channel payments, so local payment methods, terminal business, virtual terminals, etc., etc. On the other side, you also have to have a super safe environment to check the possible fraud that is going on. So please be aware of the fact that you need an anti-fraud tool set. We can help with that as well in the form of transaction monitoring tools or an anti-fraud solutions with one of our strategic partners. Forter is a possibility. You can use that as an optimization for your merchants to reduce fraud, to prevent AML from happening on your sites, on the sites of your merchants. And to finish all the basics, indeed, you need to have a financial overview of what you have earned, of what the merchant have earned, and how to improve that business for the merchants. We can help you with the reconciliation and the settlement to the merchants, and the invoicing of it. As a PSP, you need to have an overview of everything that happened with the merchants. You need to set the pricing, the revenue pricing, but also the cost pricing, so you can really have an overview of the margin that you have made, but also some things like deposit rates, chargeback fees, refund fees, etc. You need to type it in yourself per merchant. We all, of course, work within RESTful API for this. If you look at the merchants, they need to have a comprehensive login. They will need to see all the insights, all the things that happened, and they need to see which payment was finished, which transaction failed, and for what reason. And they need to have some tools to optimize their transaction. And lastly, there are plugins necessary to connect your merchants to. So they all have a web shop, and you want to connect them fast and secure to Magento, PrestaShop, WooCommerce, etc., etc. And you don't want to build this yourself. So use it as is and send it to your merchants, since we have all those plugins in place. So, what kind of payment products can you use when you start to become a PSP? When you use our platform, you of course have like 300 possibilities for payment products, alternative payment products, SEPA payments in Europe, of course. We can have tokens, loyalty, vouchers, pay in installments, and absolutely all the credit card payment methods are available. If you act as a bank and you want to offer online payments to your merchants, we understand that sometimes the bank system needs to be connected to our system as well. That's why we have built our platform as a RESTful API first system, and you could integrate our information in your own core banking system. This is something that needs to be investigated, of course, and means some custom work, but it is possible. So basically, my opinion is that becoming a PSP is in this world, in this time, very relevant for a lot of players. We have some interesting features that we can help you with. We can put you live, well, in about 4 to 5 weeks in your own look and feel, so you can start profiting from the online payments that are growing and growing year by year. So if there is something I can help you with, please let me know, and I'm happy to help. Thank you for your time.
So, Lennart, actually, we'll bring you back. Fantastic. Hi, Lennart. Right now, actually, we've got a couple of questions that have come through from our platform. So I'll just ask you those questions now. So first of all, what would you say is the main criteria for choosing a PSP payment platform relevant to your customers or general audience?
The main reason for choosing a platform like to become a PSP is, well, I guess being in the data flow. As if you're going to be a PSP yourself, the upside that I see currently for all the banks is to bring relevant services to your merchants and to be in the data flow. And the data flow means, for example, this is something that is really picking up right now. With loans, bringing loans to merchants. Bringing loans to merchants is a possibility. Currently, if you look at the transaction history, then you have a way better overview of the revenue of the merchants. So you can easily, as a bank, set up a loan with a lot of merchants. So this is just an example, but being in the data flow means you are way more connected with your merchants than before. So I think the data will be the reason to do that.
Okay, Lennart, we've got another question from you, from the platform directly to you. So in terms of cross-border capabilities for merchants, how many countries do you support?
Well, basically all countries where online payments are allowed. So not the restricted countries where it's not allowed to do so, in all legal businesses. So Latin America, Asia, Africa, everything is really possible because we are connected with dozens of global players.
Lennart, we've got one more question for you right now, which simply is, how do you compare to platform providers, for example, Dimebox or Banking Circle?
Well, interesting that you mentioned Dimebox because this is this was an independent company, but right now it was taken over by Verifone. So we don't see a lot of independent players like Magnius in the industry. It is really picking up. You see a lot of companies starting out as a payment orchestration platform that is basically a possibility for merchants to connect to several payment companies. But a company like Magnius is not really, well, we don't have that many competitors yet because we are focusing on helping the banks to become a PSP. What we also have, and that's interesting to know, and we don't see a lot of competition in that field as well currently, e-commerce software companies like BigCommerce or Shopify are moving into the PSP area as well. So these kind of companies, we call them independent software vendors, are really interested in becoming more of in front of the payments. So to help their merchants with relevant services, to be in the data flow, and to also earn some good money over the transaction fees that are available. So the examples that you gave are Dimebox, which are taken over by Verifone. So they're not relevant for me as a competitor anymore. They bring the business to their current clients. And Banking Circle is a company I don't know yet, but I see a lot of things going on in the industry, and we are really proud that we are already there and fixing everything for our current banks that we're working for. As a matter of fact, we are also working for some specific clients in the Balkan region with our partner here, and we're really happy about it.
Okay, listen, Lennart, thank you so much for sharing your insights today. And I'm sure those of you that are beaming in, looking at this from wherever you are in the world, if you've got a question for Lennart, or actually anyone else that we feature throughout our 2 days at Shift Money 2020, just simply reach out, I'm sure, on LinkedIn or on the platform as well. So Lennart, thank you so much. What we will do right now is take a very short break of a couple of minutes. We'll prepare the stage because we've got a very special interview, a very special panel on the stage right now in just a couple of minutes.